All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball channel where we collect star basketball cards, not distribution criteria. Gosh, the whole thing to me will never ever make sense. But we are on our 101st video. Yay, the 101. How cool is that? So apologize a little bit for I've been extremely busy the last like 3 4 weeks, and after even the Beckett video, things got a little busy for me, so it's a little hard to get some of these out. But I'd rather get a video out than not. And I just really quickly wanted to talk. This one's going to be a short one today, but wanted to talk about the Goldin Auction last night. Just an FYI, I am working on a few things in the background. I don't know if they're going to come to fruition, which would be cool for the channel. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll let you know if it happens. I'm doing stuff behind the scenes. So if we can get it, it'd be really, really cool. The Goldin Auction last night was pretty interesting in the fact that it was kind of, to me, almost, I want to say irrelevant, but a big nothing burger, because this one's really hard to gauge in the fact that you had a bunch of auctions right here. Here's the ending results. You had a bunch of things that were bid on 2 weeks ago, and the ending price is kind of at the height of the first, at the resistance point when it got hit. These 10 pretty much caused that resistance point. And then eBay came out with a few auctions and everything. And then since then, obviously prices have dropped in those auctions. So people who bid on these early, and this was run up on a few of these cards fairly early, like the PSA 7, you can look at it right here. The bidding ended, I believe, 2 weeks ago, almost exactly. If you go and look at the bid history, right on September 15th at 1, was kind of the final bid for these, and you can see it over here with these with the eights. They too ended as well at September 15th. So kind of a little less than 2 weeks ago from when the auction ended, but so still a long time ago. So I'm kind of not chalking up these results. Demand is still strong. That's not the thing. Is really it's watching supply. And so I would go through these, but it really kind of was a lower quality, as I said before, kind of a lower quality grouping. And you had some strong sales, obviously, but again, the next sales in the next couple weeks are going to be a little bit more interesting to me. One of the ones I did note that didn't, here was a BGS 6.5 for the 195 ending at 4,000, which to me was kind of interesting for one of the ones that came up. And then we had a CK26 ending at 7,300 for a BGS 7.5. So a couple of notables, but again, I think the next sales are going to make all these irrelevant, whether they're the lower or the exact same. I'm kind of moving past this and looking to see what happens next. And speaking of what's happening next, you hear so much about, obviously supply and all those auctions hitting. The funny thing about this card is people forget that obviously it's a low supply. Well, how does that play out? Well, if all those auctions and you have a wave and they're gone, what's next? Who has the next wave? And if it doesn't come, then you're back to having low auction supply. And here, eBay, the results went up as far as how many are returned in the search criteria. But if you go and look, so many of these are, I want to call, quote unquote, overpriced. They're out of kind of the normal market range. I've said this before, I don't really view these as legit pricing. It's just people hoping they get lucky and they're kind of throwing it out of, kind of the standard market range. So really, it's almost like right here, where things get realistic, not bidding, just buy it nows. And an 8.5 for 80, I would say these are realistic starting right here. This PSA 6 for 90,000 to me isn't. So you have we have ones below this price point, and as you can see, maybe this 3.5 for 30,000, I wouldn't consider as reasonable pricing. These are lower priced down here, But you can take a look and kind of see the auctions for yourself. But there's one. There's one auction for bid that I see up here on Alt. So there's one auction for eBay. There's now two in PWCC, and that's a, PSA 6 and a BGS 7. And you have one at Goldin. So really, you only have four live auctions now for the 101. And there's some private sales and whatnot, but still, as far as auction amounts, it's now getting interesting to me because let's see, the demand is still there. People are still buying them. Still see that. It's obviously a price pause and a resistance point, but it is interesting to see that now that auctions go, as they thinned out and we got rid of that huge wave from Goldin, how these things are going to play out. So these all ended. You can take a look at the pricing. You got the eights that kind of averaged probably about 45,000, 46,000. And the sixes that averaged about 18, a little more than 18. But again, I'm kind of looking past this one. But now that this supply wave is gone, it's going to be interesting to see how things were. So a couple notable sales. Oh, and one last thing, I did note that there was a Gem Mint 10 that finished at 185 for the 86 Fleer. Things that I watched that card too as well. And I also saw that PSA 9 that I've been watching, and that finished at 15,750. But again, one thing these cards are so condition sensitive. You have low, and that's what I've been saying about some of the things in the Goldin. You have low conditioned in the gray. Like you can find a BGS 7 in a 101 or an 86 Fleer that's very different than the next BGS 7. So you got to look like this one right here. You can immediately see the centering, and we have an older label. But that what is a PSA 9 gonna list at now? Now it's 15,750, which is obviously a soft sale for this card. So again, that's one thing. You got to pay attention to the card quality, and you have to pay attention to the auctions. But sometimes it gets lost in the graphs and charts. Every 9 everyone considers the same as every 9 or 7, and it's just not the case. So one thing I did notice was a $31,000 sale for a BGS 7.5. That was interesting to me, and another one sold for 34,000 on Goldin. So this was a day after, and so some people definitely these might be considered. We can look in a month and go, yeah, that was the price to pick up, or that's about where they're settling at now. So it's going to be interesting to see how some of these auctions, we view them in a month. But definitely demand's still there. Again, supply, you got rid of that big wave, and unless it's replaced by another big wave, then supply is still tight for around market prices. So we'll definitely keep an eye on and see how things go. But yeah, other than that, I'll give an update for Wednesday, and I will see you at the next video.